Now, if you've played over the board, I'm sure you know exactly like the type of kid I'm talking about, but just imagine like the most adorable like 7-year-old girl you could possibly imagine. Like I don't know if she was wearing like a frilly dress with bows, but in my head that's what she was wearing. And we go sit down at our table, and she pulls out a pen with like a pom pom on the end, and she knows my name is Anna because her mom told her, and she's writing names down on the score sheet, and she goes, "Is your name Anna with one N or two N's?" And I was like, "Oh, that's very sweet, two N's." Um, and her name was Megan. She was rated 779. Super great for my confidence. My ego was like barely clinging on for life at this point. And spoiler alert, I lost this one too, but this loss it hurt a lot more. And I looked at the ratings or the standings from the tournament afterwards, and I was really surprised that mine was the only game Megan won, because I think she played really strongly in this game. Um, so you'll notice a theme. I don't know if all kids exchange, but 2 games in a row, I play as black, and both lead to the exchange variation. Um, and very quickly, you'll see where I started to feel uncomfortable. Um, kind of trying to develop normally, positions pretty equal here. Um, and this is the move that made me uncomfortable, is the queen lined up with my g7 pawn, especially with the dark squared bishop in the same area. I didn't know how to best like deal with this threat. I didn't want to castle into it, even though I should have. But I didn't. And it led to some very, very uncomfortable play. And Paul, given my online rating, my over the board should improve a lot. Yeah, and so I do think that next time I go, I'm going to advocate for myself to play in the under 1400 bracket instead of the under 1000 bracket, partly because I there's just fewer kids in the under 1400 bracket, and also I feel like it'll just be a little bit more in line with like my expectations rating wise, even though my opponents were playing very well. They have an at least 21 event, Ethan. I wish they had that, because like, the fact that my local club has weekly events, technically they have more than weekly events. They have Wednesday night tournaments and Saturday tournaments. Like, that's really cool, but it's open to all ages, even though they also have a scholastic program. And part of me is like, chess is for everybody. I get that, but it would be nice to play adults too. So yeah, super uncomfortable. I can't castle right now. And it's kind of looking to me like I'm not gonna have a chance to castle. Um, and this was a blunder, and I saw it immediately. Remember, my board vision over the board is not very good, but the issue is here. Um, it's a fork that loses material because I can't protect both my bishop or both my knight and my rook. But luckily, opponent doesn't see it. So I very quickly deal with that threat by just offering a trade. Trade me, please. Trade me, and don't fork my pieces. Settle for a draw with the kid with the provisional 400 rating. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's rough. I wonder, how does that affect your score if they're provisional? Hopefully it doesn't affect it as much. And you're telling me that fianchettoing my queen is a mistake? sometimes, queens just want to feel like bishops, uh, so yeah, out of the opening, super uncomfortable queen pressure on my king side that I didn't know how to deal with, and +1 to opponent. But luckily, play is not super accurate at this point, so I can castle and go back to normal pretty easily. Hello, Tiger, welcome. And Phil Chess, thank you for the follow. Maybe if I play enough at that club, I can start the adult league. Maybe. I saw that in my city, someone just started organizing like a Tuesday meetup at a like brewery that's close to me, that I might do just to kind of practice my over the board vision. Hi, raid for me. I didn't get my raid announcement, but welcome. I am reviewing a tournament I just played, my first ever tournament. There it is. Hello, raiders. Thanks for the raid, Vilches. I am reviewing my first ever over the board tournament that I played on Saturday, and this is game 2, and super great for my confidence. Vilches, how was your stream today? I'm assuming you play chess because chess is in your name. My tournament result, so I lost 2 games and won 2 games in the under 1,000 bracket, which, we're discussing we're discussing the reasons why that went that way. And so my overall placement in the bracket, there were 14 participants and I came in 8th, which, but it's fine. It's fine. 2105 reach. Very, very cool. That is not bad indeed. So, returning to our game here, we're back to equal. Megan I feel like she's playing very, very well. And she blundered here, which I didn't spot. Best move would be to win a pawn. And you can see why here. If my knight threatens the queen, then queen has to move. That's the tempo for white. And then this pawn doesn't have enough defense, and I'll be up a pawn. But I missed it. Remember, theme of the evening. Over the board vision, not very good. Not very good. A skill I definitely have to develop. And there's a fork after. Yes, very true. So they have to deal with several threats. Yes. I mean, that this isn't a must for the fork if Megan spotted it, which honestly I bet she would have, because she did a really good job anticipating my moves. So pretty normal play. I was going for the kind of classic Caro motif of pushing the pawns on the queen side. Is it best moves? Is it most accurate? No. But for today, we've got a lot of games to go through, so we'll just kind of sit with it. Paul, go over games with the board. That's a great idea. I did just order my official tournament set with some of my Twitch earnings, which thank you guys, by the way, for helping me fund my chess exploration. And my board should get here on Friday. And I went for the triple weighted pieces in the silicone burgundy and white board. And I already have a clock, so hopefully I can figure out how to make that work. And Phil Chess, am I from England? I am not. I am from California in the US. Do I sound English? My college self would be very happy to hear that. I was really obsessed with pretending I had an English accent in college. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Um, so yeah, knight going over and kind of rerouting here actually is exactly a line from my Kero course. Because if the trade does happen here, then you can pretty easily double the rooks, but I didn't do that. My pronunciation is perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I pronounce things okay sometimes. So yes, plays continuing. Yes. And she has not moved. My queen has been here for at least a dozen moves at this point. Super active piece, I know. And finally, I am like, she's got to get out of that dang house. Just please sacrifice, like trade me. I can't stand this queen anymore. It's been up in my business for far too long. And she doesn't trade me. Which good for her. And oops, fork, except it's not a problem because I offered this. I was pretty proud of this. Where yes, there was a threat, but if takes, I get a queen for free. So at this point, she has to take my queen. And then I'm out of the fork because my knight captures back. I made this move probably because the last game I played against Michael, I had a knight that ended up getting pretty trapped. And I wanted to make sure it had an escape square. Which, did I need to do this? No, but it didn't hurt. Buono notte! Ciao ciao! I haven't done Italian in a while, but hopefully that wasn't terrible. Buonanotte. Yes. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and thanks again for the raid. Perfect Italian? Yes. I was told my accent was good when I learned Italian, so I'll take that. Okay, so at this point, I start to carve out the smallest of advantages. Because if you look at White's structure, it's kind of all over the place. Like, if the pawns, what's happening here? And the rooks aren't coordinated yet and can't really get coordinated. So yeah, things are going okay for me at this point. Didn't want to trade because I felt like with the pawn structure, keeping my knight was important. And so kind of trying to put pressure here. You know, not doing a perfect job by any means, but doing okay. And my goal with the horse move is to reroute and potentially threaten some forks. And if not forks, at least be able to reroute and put more pressure on this pawn. And my plan, as harebrained as it may have been, was sort of working. Where I felt like the tempo was now in my favor. Eval was more consistently in my favor as well. And, you know, this is where it went wrong. I thought that my plan to keep pushing here worked. And if I had my 2D online chess board vision, I would have seen this. I would have seen so many problems with this idea. But I didn't in the moment. And this was a very short conclusion. And then I allowed mate in 2. And not only did I allow mate in 2, but I didn't see that it was mate in 2. So when she went here, and then I went here, and she said checkmate, I was shocked. And it was at this point that I was just mortified. Megan played well. And you know, to have checkmate that I didn't see against a 7-year-old adorably diabolical little girl rated 1779, I was not having a good time. um it was lunch break, and because this game, it didn't take a ton of time. The part from my first game I forgot to mention is that um that game took a long time, and we were one of the final boards playing, so everyone was walking around watching games and watching me get my butt kicked by a 10-year-old. And so that was like, I felt a lot of pressure from that too. um yeah, she played really well, which is like, if you see this game, that's why I was so surprised this was the only game she won today, because I, like, accuracy wise, like, really good play. And Tiger, 100% correct. I opened the way for her. I made a huge mistake, and I just didn't see it. Um, Queen to G3 was excellent. Um, let me remember what move that was. Was that Queen G3 for me or for her? Oh yeah, when she went Queen G3 here. It says inaccuracy. No, not there, not there. Here. Um, yeah, I thought it was a really big threat, and it really threw me for a loop. Hello, Damos, welcome. And Ethan, have I ever set up puzzles on a real board? Your coach has you do it. That's a great idea. And yeah, once my set comes in on hopefully Friday, as long as the FedEx guys, shipping works and all that. That's my plan, is review my games over the board, do some puzzles over the board, make my husband play me over the board. And just kind of like do a lot of that to prepare for my next tournament. Because yeah, the first two games, it was rough.